Good day, fellow geeks. On this week's episode of Geeks of Azeroth, we're going to be talking about Heroes of the Storm, esports, BattleNet changes, and BlizzCon 2016 goodies, all that and more on this week's episode of Geeks of Azeroth.
By geeks.
About geeks.
For geeks. Welcome to Geeks of Azeroth!
Hello, welcome to the show. My name's Tarley, and with me, as always, we've got Britzza and Big Voodoo. Unfortunately, Zool could not be here this week. He had to work, but he is with us in spirit. How's it going, gentlemen?
As the real Vol'jin is.
Yes. And, of course, I'm your old-time news radio host today because my good microphone is not functioning today. So I'm in the headset like a pro.
Speaking through a potato.
Speaking through a potato, yes. Potatoes sound pretty good.
I've heard it's the mic you can eat. No, Ty, don't eat it.
Oh, sorry. I misinterpreted.
And that's Sally gone for the show.
All right, well, let's just do a roundup of what everyone's been doing this week. We'll start with you.
Legion.
Oh, okay. Well, Big Voodoo.
Quite literally, Legion. I think since the last show where we were all together, I managed to get the pally to 110, so that's the first one down. And you were right. There's just an endless amount of content that is through that door once you get to 110. And I'm still going. It's so funny because I thought, okay, maybe I can get to a stage where I can sort of, you know, where that point in Warlords where you were doing garrison missions for like various bits of quests, and so you could kind of like leave that ticking in the background and focus on an alt. Well, I haven't found that yet, so I'm just going to enjoy this one and just keep going with the pally until I hit the end of the Order Halls, and then I might think about the Demon Hunter. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it, and it's so cool, I think, like Ian Hazukosta said, just to have this world of stuff to do. And the fact when you're doing these world quests, and I've done a few of them, like even some of the massive world bosses, like you go up and you go all the way to see them, you're like, oh, there's only 5 of us here. Give it like 10 minutes, and there's so many people there. I've never felt like such a community spirit, even though it's just random people not talking to each other. It still feels awesome. So it goes without saying, a lot of people have experienced the same thing, but absolutely loving Legion and don't intend to step away from it.
And Big Voodoo is actually doing what I did with Warlords of Draenor. So how many level 110s do you have, Big Voodoo?
I'm at 3 now.
Wow.
Warrior at 847 eye level for 2 different specs. Then I've got my Paladin, who's 821, I think, now for Holy. And my Warlock, who I haven't really played much since I hit 110. But it's been a few sleepless weeks, honestly.
I suppose you just haven't been plugged in since launch. That's incredible.
It kind of feels like I have been. It's pretty much been eat, sleep, work, wow.
Good mix. Are you doing much? So were you just getting to 110? Well, obviously you were doing some of the other stuff to get to that eye level, but was it sort of like bare minimum stuff in the background and go straight onto the next ult, or did you sort of push as far as you could and then move to the next one?
So my first one was my Warrior, and him I've completed 9 of 11 sets of quests in Suramar. I'm revered in Suramar now. I've been doing all of my emissary quests daily with him. My Paladin... No, actually, my Warlock was the next one I hit 110 with, and I pretty much just hit 110 and then parked it. And then my Paladin I hit 110 with and started gearing, so I've been running some heroics, I've been doing world quests. I've not done a whole lot of Suramar, but I have done a little bit, just enough to get world quests unlocked.
You've done a lot more than me. Come on, Tarley, make me feel better.
I only have one character as well, because it's just like an overwhelming amount of stuff to do when you don't have a whole lot of time to play the game to begin with. So I kind of just said, I'll play one character in this expansion, and That's about. And I've pretty much cleared up, 848 eye level, I think, with my monk. I've done all the mythics. Pretty much have those on farm, and done up to Suramar where I could get those dungeons, and now I'm never touching Suramar again. But
do you need to complete it for the Pathfinder?
You do, but I'm not too worried about it. So,
okay,
yeah. But that's where I'm at, and now I'm actually at the point with Legion that it's kind of fading back into the rotation of Blizzard games that I play. I'm not playing it all the time. This last week I've mixed in both some StarCraft and some Overwatch. Overwatch in particular. Got my ranked play games out of the way. Got gold rated, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's cool.
Are you guys using the app much? Because I feel like I'm using the app more than playing the game sometimes.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the app more than I'm on the game at this point. I got a whole level on my DK just without even logging in.
I did that on my Paladin too when I was leveling him.
It's just getting the order resources and just maintaining those. I mean,
Yeah.
I had some lucky world quests where I was getting 1,000 in per quest.
Yeah.
So I got a stockpile, but that depletes pretty quickly.
Yeah, I leveled my DK to 103, so I had a pretty decent stockpile of order resources, and then just, stopped playing him for a little bit, and over the course of a couple days of just doing missions, I logged back onto him, he was 104. What happened?
Someone's hacked my account.
Yeah, so the app's pretty nice. Nice to have. But yeah, I think we should just jump right into news of the week.
Hey, we recording? Yeah? Okay.
News of the week.
That's right, it's time for news of the week. And, there hasn't been a whole lot of news since the last 2 weeks since we did a show. We did have a show last week. If you missed that, that was the big news about Chris Metzen leaving, and we all kind of said our thank yous and goodbyes and farewells, and we love you, and please don't leave. Oh God, Blizzard's gonna die now. We sent all of that in last week's episode, so check that out. But yeah, news of the week. We can start off actually some pretty big news for Heroes of the Storm. Heroes is beefing up its esports scene by creating a Heroes of the Storm Global Championship League. Basically, going to do what League of Legends does for its system, where there's going to be different regions: North America, Europe, China, and South Korea, all these teams getting compensated for their matches. There's going to be a lot more just tournaments within each country, regionals, and then the world championships. And so Blizzard is really pushing the esports scene for Heroes of the Storm in 2017, which is very odd after Heroes of the Storm had a very bad esports year in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Big Voodoo, I would say you're a resident esport expert. What do you make?
Yes, I'm an expert. I think that's exactly why they're changing the format up. More support for esports means that they don't have another bad year, is kind of how I would put it. Essentially, the more money you throw at the problem, the less of a problem it becomes in esports. As much as it sucks to say, but I mean...
Have you seen Hillary Clinton? That does not solve the problem.
in esports, it kind of does, though. The more money you're willing to throw at it, these people are competing as a profession, as a job, so seeing a raise on their plate makes the competition more fierce, as well as it makes other newcomers want to come in, or people who decided, hey, this doesn't pay well enough for me to bother with it. Well, now it does, so it makes sense. I don't know. I think.
Well, with the amount of Legion subscribers, WoW has the money, or Blizzard has the money for it.
I don't think Blizzard has been hurting for money in the last 15 years, maybe even before then. But
yeah, what do you make?
I mean, being someone who hasn't touched Heroes for quite a while, I'm embarrassed to say, I do see the need to build this. I for some reason, I think I was catching this news during the weekend, and I was hearing some people say that this is in response to Riot apparently not being very good at supporting teams in League of Legends. I don't know if that's true, but certainly, you do need a carrot on a stick. Let's be honest. You've got teams leaving Hearthstone because they don't really get the game, so undoubtedly they're going to have to use a similar tactic for Hearthstone. But I just think, yeah, they do need better support. You know, they need to start. They want this thing to be taken seriously as well. Let's be honest. Esports is growing so well, but it's never going to become truly competitive. You know, like fully televised events on major networks until you've got proper money behind it. And also, you know, until these players can start supporting their lifestyles and actually dedicate all their time without having to, you know, hope they get the sponsorship deals or, you know, try and do it part-time with other events and whatnot. So I think it's good as long as the money's there. Yeah. But, you know, you do have a point, Tarley, that sometimes it's not always about the money. And I think with Hearthstone, that is the case. That, you know, players just don't... It's so different to any other esports that the players aren't willing to chase it even now. So what about you?
I mean, I definitely think it's a good idea because I really do like Heroes of the Storm. And even though I haven't played in a while, I think it's, you know, a really good game. But so far there hasn't been, at least for me, any interest in watching the esports. So I think if they buff it up this much, like, it might actually get better commentary and just more interest in the game in general. I think it might be better to watch because I've always loved watching League of Legends. Like, even when Worlds come around every year, even though I don't play that one anymore, I still watch Worlds because it's a good game and it's well known and well covered. So if they do that with Heroes, I would definitely watch it.
Do you think commentators might be the biggest issue for Heroes?
I don't think it's the biggest issue, but I think it's definitely part of it. They don't seem as... Like, you watch League of Legends, and it's like you're watching a football game on ESPN. Like, it's very professional. And then when I watch Heroes of the Storm, they're way more relaxed. It's almost like base trade TV for StarCraft. Well, I don't really like that one either. It's just not as professional. Mm-hmm. So...
Yeah, well, like, can any of us name any commentator for Heroes?
Mm-mm. And I can name, like, the best commentators for StarCraft, but I don't know a single one's name for Heroes.
Is Artosis still doing Heroes? I can't remember.
No, Artosis, I think, is just sticking with StarCraft.
Artosis does Heroes on occasion, just like Todd does Heroes on occasion.
But maybe that's the thing, isn't it? Maybe because they kind of got rent-a-commentator going on.
Yeah, like, there's no, like, this is some amazing commentator for Heroes person like you have for StarCraft, or I assume League. I don't really watch it, admittedly, but I mean, there's nothing iconic about it. There's not, like, a character for it, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think that's because it's new, though? Because StarCraft's been around so long that you've had time for players to come in and retire.
Definitely.
So
definitely feel like that's part of the issue. It's still a pretty new game.
On the new Championship League, though, I think the relegation system is really interesting in that the bottom two teams get kicked out for the top two teams of the Open Division or something like that, or basically. So I think that's going to at least keep it relatively competitive. You know, if these players want their salaries effectively, then going to need to make sure they're not in the bottom two.
And I think esports is going to be a big thing in 2017, especially reading this and Blizzard's hand in that because they bought MLG earlier this year. Blizzard already has partnerships with ESPN, so I think we could start
especially for Heroes, they've been partnering with them. So
I think we could actually see more televised esports this year as well, or next year.
Fingers crossed.
We're just 3 months left of 2016, guys. What has happened this year? Where did it go?
There's 6 weeks till BlizzCon.
6 weeks.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Woo.
New WoW expansion announced.
Segues are weird. That was a perfect segue into our next topic. We'll talk about BlizzCon 2016 goodies. I actually segued over one topic, so we'll get to that topic after. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can only segue so well.
You segued so hard right over the topic.
So. Crushed it.
We'll come back to that one. We'll talk about BlizzCon 2016 goodies. So over the last 2 weeks, since we did a show, they actually did announce the in-game goodies for BlizzCon 2016, and they are pretty sweet. Of course, we were all hoping so, and they did confirm that there's going to be a skin for Overwatch, and it is BlizzCon Bastion. It's pretty much what you expect. It's Bastion with blue and silver colors and BlizzCon across his chest. So It's unfortunate that Bastion's become one of the least played heroes in the game, but whatever. We all love his animation, and we think he's adorable, so we play him anyway.
Mm-hmm. And nothing says BlizzCon like a broken down killing machine.
And of course, we'll have the link. If you haven't seen this yet, we'll have the link in the show notes for you to check these out for yourself. Of course, in World of Warcraft, you get a Murloc that has been consistent for the last 4 BlizzCons now.
But
and
you get 2 of them now.
Yes, you get a Horde one or an Alliance, or both if you play both sides, which is pretty cool. And Diablo 3, you get a pet 20th edition Diablo. He looks like Diablo 1's Diablo, so that's pretty cool. Which now has me thinking, I did not realize that this year was the 20th anniversary of Diablo. Just saying, something could happen. You get a card back for Hearthstone, of course. That honestly doesn't look that special. Here's the Storm. You get a Nexus Tiger. That does actually look pretty special. And mystery goodies for StarCraft. Like, what is that, Blizzard? You reveal everything else, but not tell us what we're getting for StarCraft? That makes me think that there is something unannounced coming this year at BlizzCon.
So, I have a tinfoil hat theory on this from listening to StarCraft streamers who went to the summit at Blizzard HQ. And I think they are going to announce an entire skin system for StarCraft. Like, not just, here's a skin like they have for collector's editions, but, like, we are implementing a large amount of skins into the game, most of which behind unlockable content, and then some under paywalls. And this system, you'll probably end up getting skins for BlizzCon exclusives, would be my guess.
That
cool
makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to bet against you on that one, Big Voodoo. I think that's actually pretty accurate. Probably what's going to happen, actually.
It's like I pay attention to StarCraft still.
And we were discussing before the show, or I think we were discussing last night, Big Voodoo, about BlizzCon, what else could be unveiled, really. Let's talk about BlizzCon a little bit now that we're talking about it. Really, we don't think there's going to be a new game, right? I mean, that's just very unlikely. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
I think I agree with your perspective on it, that it's highly unlikely that we don't see a new game, but if we do, it's most likely going to be either Diablo 4 or a small team project new IP.
Yeah.
Like World of Warcraft, go.
I mean, definitely either Diablo 3 expansion or Diablo 4 would be the most likely if they were going to do something, be it that it's the 20th anniversary of Diablo this year. I think that makes the most sense. Or, like you said, a small team project. What if they did a small game, like Hearthstone is for Warcraft, but a small game like for Diablo? I don't know what they could do, but small team project for Diablo.
That could be really cool, actually. I don't know what it would be either, but I'm sure they could pump something to mobile that's Diablo-related.
Diablo 3 racing. And it's just like mini karts, and like all the main heroes get a different kart, like Mario Kart, basically. Diablo.
I'd be good with that. Just something random to do on my phone.
What are your thoughts, Britzza? What could they do for a small team project?
I was thinking, are they finally going to bring StarCraft Ghosts to mobile? That'd be so cool.
StarCraft Ghosts. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I totally agree with the skins thing. I think the only thing they can bring other than those to StarCraft are more mission packs. And they might come out a bit heavy with the mission packs. But apart from that, I think other than an IP, the only thing they can announce is HD remasters of either Diablo or Warcraft.
I think they do. I honestly think we're going to see Warcraft 3, Diablo 2, and StarCraft Brood War remastered. I think we'll get all three.
Maybe that's it. $60, 40 quid to buy all three.
Yeah,
because they don't really need to make money again off them. So
I would pay it, even if it was $60, I'd pay it
for all three. Heck yeah!
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Although expect microtransactions to start appearing.
Probably,
pretty
but
quickly.
I think Blizzard would see their Diablo 2 population get higher than their Diablo 3.
True. And I think the Brood War.
Oh, Brood War, yeah.
Segment of South Korea will kick off.
Yeah. If they do a good job with remastering Brood War, I think, StarCraft 2's population would go down for multiplayer.
I think that's the only thing
On
they
the
can bring
Korean
out.
servers, I could believe that, honestly.
They still have Brood War tournaments in Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because if those things can still, do well, then why not do it? I know it conflicts with, the current esports scene, with the latest StarCraft, but still, I think if they can get people, playing HD remastered these games on Twitch, I mean, just think how, bigger, their presence can become even huger, and that's the people playing old games. It's going to be so weird.
And you have to realize now that there's this whole other generation of people playing Blizzard games right now, people younger than us that didn't actually grow up with the RTSs when they were kids. They WoW, Cataclysm was a thing when they were a kid, and there's still kids playing now. So it'd be a really good way, and because especially kids now, and including myself, I don't like playing old games because they don't look as good as the new game, even though those old games are really good. So HD remaster, you have a way of showing all this younger generation who didn't play games in person.
I really am excited for if Warcraft 3 re-releases as an HD remaster. I think that'll be the biggest one for me.
Oh yeah, I love Warcraft 3.
Huge. I'd pay $60, 40 quid just for that remastered, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, the campaign alone was excellent. Just with the whole Arthas storyline and just all of that stuff going on. But then the multiplayer was so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go back to the roots. Go back to Dota style maps and everything. Yeah. And to be honest, as well, there was a guy, I'm sure we talked about him, who put together a HD remaster mod of Warcraft, and it looked incredible. So if that's one guy,
Big Voodoo and I played
projects.
Big Voodoo and I had a match against each other in that. I mean, it was very limited. You couldn't make all the units that were available to races, but it was cool. You could make the heroes. It was fun.
It's got to happen. I'd be so surprised if that's not what happens, because I just don't see what else they could bring out. I don't.
What else interests me is there's actually been a fairly large push for more Warcraft 3 esports tournaments. Most of them are just crowdfunded, but there's been a few that have been out lately, and a few people in the StarCraft community that came from being pros in Warcraft 3. You'll catch them online or on Twitter every once in a while talking about Warcraft 3 and, going back to it and playing here and there, and even sometimes streaming here and there for it. So I think it'd be good.
100%. Do you think they'd ever bring it to the major scene, like BlizzCon finals, like Warcraft 3 tournaments?
I would say,
remaster, it's possible. I don't think it'll happen, but it's possible.
I think it would be like a thing like they had the, the race, the raid race, or whatever they would used to do. The guild the guild versus guild race that they used to do, between Method and the other
Blood
guild.
Legion and all that.
Yeah, so they used to be doing that kind of stuff, and I could see them doing that with Warcraft 3, just something else that takes on the main stage, that's not super serious, but
that'd be pretty cool.
So man, we went on quite a tangent there from BlizzCon goodie bag, but
we're talking about the goodie bag that counts.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the goodie bag is now available for pre-order as well, because you can order that from your house like a pleb.
Lovely, lovely goodies, Tarley. All for me.
All right, so we can backtrack now to the topic that Big Voodoo just ran right over with a segue.
Sorry, I segue hard, Pat.
Tarley. My name is not Pat. My name is Tarley. Battle.net is changing its name. Basically, I don't know. Does it actually say what they're changing it to? But
it's becoming. I think it's Blizzard Tech, isn't it?
They're essentially just removing the name. They have no need to name their service when it's just kind of an assumed service per game anymore.
They're I understand like why Blizzard would do this, right? Like Battle.net, you're like, what is this? What is this Battle.net? What does this have to do with anything else, right? But all of us who have been a part of Battle.net since when did it come out? Diablo 2 or Warcraft 2?
1996.
The Warcraft 2. Yeah. Battle.net's been around forever. Why take it away?
Well, I get why they're doing it, because I can't remember quote for quote what they said, but here it is. So they said, when we created Battle.net, the idea of it including a tailored online gaming service together with the game was more of a novel concept. So they put a lot of focus into explaining what it was, and Battle.net was kind of a way of describing what it was. It was a network for connecting people through games. However, over the time, it seems that there's been confusion and inefficiencies with Blizzard having to refer to their gaming platform as Battle.net as opposed to something with Blizzard in the title. And now people know what Battle.net is. They feel that they can say, well, this is something Blizzard-ish. People know what these things are. You have them everywhere in all sorts of games. Steam's another one. So the fact people are now used to it, they now want people to know that it's theirs. They want people to start using the phrase Blizzard Tech, I guess. So it's probably more of a business thing than anything else.
Yeah, well, and you don't have to advertise any branding for Battle.net anymore at this point either. You just advertise your company and the individual games instead of your company, the individual games, and servers, essentially.
But I hate change!
I think we're going to have to live with it, Tarley. It's happening. Battle.net has died. Long live its successor. I mean, Blizzard Tech...
Battle.net first, World of Warcraft second. I mean, when does it end?
2016 sucks. But Blizzard Tech, admittedly, doesn't sound like the most exciting thing. I think you're right, Big Voodoo. Like, Battle.net, you know what that is. That's such a well-known brand now. And I think maybe they feel a bit jealous of it in a sense that Battle.net is so well...
We're jealous of ourselves.
Of our own products, yeah. But maybe it's because people talk about Battle.net and they don't want people saying Battle.net. They want people saying Blizzard. It could be that, but...
Well, and
yeah.
I mean, how much is it really going to change anything? Just replace... Oh, what are Blizzard servers looking like right now? Are the Blizzard servers down? Are the Battle.net servers down? Mm-hmm. And open up your Blizzard launcher instead of open up your Battle.net launcher. Other than that, what's it really going to do?
And I guess the other
You're
side
right,
is...
but stop being right. Just stop it.
It doesn't change anything. And even me saying, like, oh, they want to use the word Blizzard rather than Battle.net. Like, EA's platform is called Origin, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So it might be technically called EA Origin, but still people know it as Origins. So it doesn't have to have the name in the title all the time.
Yeah, but EA probably doesn't want people to realize that everything on Origin is theirs.
Fair point. But Steam, okay, Steam is Steam. People know it as Steam, and I think maybe that's what they're trying to get. They're trying to probably be a little bit more like Steam in that sense.
Is Blizzard just going to start putting Blizzard on everything? Like Blizzard World of Warcraft,
including us.
Blizzard StarCraft, Blizzard Diablo,
Blizzard's World of Warcraft, yes.
Well, it shouldn't even be that. It should be Activision Blizzard, technically.
Well, no one cares about the first half of that company.
They've been making terrible Call of Duty games for the last 10 years.
Yeah, they have.
At least the last 3, 4? When did Ghosts come out?
4 years ago.
4 years ago,
yeah. At least 4. But I guess it sounds like we're all pretty neutral on this,
Yeah.
Meh. It's annoying.
It's happening.
Change is annoying.
All right, and then let's see. Last bit of news. Since Legion has come out, Blizzard has been bombarded with DDoS attacks. These little kids, like these 16-year-old kids who have money, lots of money from their parents. They take it and they just pay these servers to crash Blizzard servers for an hour, and they pay like $200 to do this. Why?
It's better than going outside. It is pretty sad, I'll be honest.
Someone needs to find these children and put them in jail.
But I mean, legitimately, so I've been playing Legion pretty much non-stop if you didn't catch the beginning of this show. I don't recall one point when the servers were just unavailable. Besides,
Yeah, I mean,
right after launch. But
it gets super laggy, but Blizzard's done a good job of keeping the game online. Like,
well, and it stabilizes like 5-10 minutes later, anyways. Like you're back down to normal latency, even.
And in fairness, I mean, to get a bit of context, so there's been 3 known major DDoS attacks in the last month. But every time when they say, we're currently monitoring a DDoS attack against our network providers, which is affecting latency and connections in our games, is it the authentication system that kind of slows it down? Because obviously you've got to have those two really well synced up. So if the servers aren't matching up with the authentication servers, then presumably that's why people can't, like you say, Big Voodoo, that's what stops people getting in. Otherwise, your game's just a bit slow. That's the only thing they can do, really. So unfortunately, it's kind of the Blizzard security as well, which is not helping the way, but I'm not suggesting for a second that they get rid of it.
Well, they have programs essentially to monitor, multitudes of pings coming from a single location, and then they can, just block those pings out, which is kind of how they defend against DDoS attacks, in my understanding. Granted, I'm not like some computer pro. I can put them together, that's about it.
You don't even put in all the screws.
Save money where you can. Sellotape the rest.
But, I mean, they've got systems in place, and their systems seem to work. So, I wouldn't worry too much about it, I guess. Like, it hasn't... A little bit of latency for WoW is not that bad. Now, if this was happening and I was trying to grind out, like, rank in StarCraft, then I'd be pissed. But...
Yeah, I can see that. Tarley, what do you make of it?
I think my introduction to the topic kind of explains how I feel. I just think it's stupid. There's, like, no point to the attacks. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, the group this time was Poodle Corp, which probably shows you the maturity level of these hackers. But
and that's the thing, we can't even give them the dignity of calling them hackers, because that's not what they are. They're paying other people to do it for them. Like, they're not actually hacking anything. Anybody, I could DDoS someone right now if I wanted to. I think just because I'm angry about it, I'm gonna go DDoS Icarus after this. Just to DDoS someone.
It's the equivalent of swatting, but on a major level, isn't it? It's just a way of inconveniencing people.
Swatting could be a lot more dangerous, but
swatting is a lot more dangerous. And in fact, swatting does a lot more damage. But
it's the same idea. You're just trying to cause pain to someone else for no reason whatsoever, and that's the age we live in. Apparently.
Yeah, it sucks. But go on, Big Betty.
Until there's consequences for trolling on the internet, everyone will troll on the internet.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys
including Tarley. I have played games with you. I know.
Yeah. I definitely.
And then you suddenly realise you're playing each other, and he just DDoS'd you.
Yeah.
I thought my game was running a bit slow when we did that Hearthstone StarCraft match.
I don't know if you guys like follow South Park at all, but like the latest new episode that just came out this last week really covered internet trolls actually in a really good way. Like, they always keep up with modern topics, what's going on, so they kind of hit internet trolls pretty hard this week. So pretty funny.
I'll check it out.
And Token's life matters.
That's been going on for so long, hasn't it? I'm getting up to this segment.
This is not a political show.
No, it's not a South Park podcast either, so I'll keep it to myself. But I guess that's it, really. Blizzard have been DDoSed 3 times. They've come out standing. People are still playing the game, and the kids are running out of money. So
hopefully.
I think we know who's won.
All right, so without further ado, we'll hop right into our discussion of the week.
What's a Drena anyhow? Can I drink it?
Discussion of the week.
That's right, it's time for discussion of the week. And we were banging our heads against our monitors before the show trying to come up with something to discuss. And so we would just talk about, is there too much to do in Legion? And what are the flaws, if any, with Legion so far? So we'll start off with, is there too much to do in Legion? And I would say it's a matter of perspective, because there is a lot to do in Legion. There is a ton to do in Legion. But do you guys think it's too much? Or do you think it's just enough? Or do you think it's not enough? Need more?
I think one of the things that I thought about when we were sort of thinking about this was with the app, you know, people burn through order resources at an exceptional rate, you know, especially when you're adults living in the real world, going to work, coming back. But the thing is, like, you'll set a mission for, like, before you go to bed, you'll get up, you'll start a new one, and then you'll go to work. So you're doing like 3 or 4 missions in the course of a day before you've even got back to your PC. And I think kind of what makes me feel like sometimes there's a bit too much to do is that there are just so many activities I can get involved in, and then at the end of the day I find myself having to just get resources just to keep myself going on the app. I joked about playing more on the app than the game. Sometimes that is the case. I don't have time to play on PC, so I'll just keep using the app to keep the missions going, and then the first thing I have to do is go around and collect as many order resources as I can humanly catch in an hour and a half. So maybe like there's a lot of resource heavy stuff going on, which kind of, but I guess that's game balance, isn't it? Because otherwise I just end up getting all the goodies.
I definitely feel like you have to be able to gauge what you have time to do. Like, you know, when Legion first came out, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do Mythic Plus, and I'm going to be progressive, and I'm going to be awesome this expansion. I can't. I just don't have the time because there's just so much to do. And if, you know, when you work a lot and you just don't have much time to play, you just can't really be that progression focused, or at least I can't. So I've kind of narrowed down what I'm doing, and now I feel like there's just enough content because every time I log into the game, I have something to do and I haven't run out of stuff to do. Now that I'm more just going to probably play Legion more casually instead of being a hardcore raider.
Filthy casual.
Yay, another one for my camp. Go on, Big Voodoo. You know you want to say something.
There's a lot of content. I don't think there's too much, though. I think the amount of content they have is entirely appropriate. I think it's just that everyone's so used for, like, WoW, when you hit max level, you immediately get all of the content and you can focus and do just one thing and be fine, and it doesn't take very long. And that's kind of like the routine we're in with WoW expansions, you know? But with this one, it's just they've got the content you step into after max level, plus a little bit of extra content on top of that, and then content to do after you finish that, and content to do after you finish that, and it's all right here, right now, so it feels like it's way too much to do. Like, Suramar, it would be like when Warlords came out, if all of the raids were already there for the entire expansion, and Tanan Jungle was too, and then you're hitting 100 and you're like, well, I need to go do this, but I need to go do this, but I need to work on my garrison, but I need to do all of it right now. Mm-hmm. And that's just the mindset us as players have kind of been in. So I think as we adapt to Legion, it will become much more normal for us, I guess, and much less overwhelming overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sort of flipping it, we're not getting the next major content patch or the next raid content until February or something, right? I think it's early next year.
That'll be patch 6.2.
7.2.
Yes.
7.2,
sorry. Yeah. So, you know, we're not going to get a massive burst of stuff for a little while still, now that the sort of first raid wings started to open.
But we're getting 6.1, which has a raid, which
7.1.
7.1. We're getting 7.1, which has a raid, which has the Karazhan basically a raid, but dungeon raid, and has a whole new rep as well. If you think you're already grinding enough reps, there's a new rep coming with 7.1 as well. Plus more Suramar. Dear God, why? More Suramar is being added as well. So it's like, and this is all coming before, assumingly before even the Nighthold raid. They're just throwing
probably
more and more and more. Blizzard. Stop.
Don't
stop. No, don't stop.
Yeah, really.
I think Big Voodoo kind of hit it on the head for me. in that I do feel like there's a lot to do, but now you've mentioned that it's because of the attitude and perspective, and that just because we've been given like this buffet doesn't mean we have to stuff our face with everything on the table.
Yeah,
that's a fair point. I guess as well, because the way the game works has changed so much. The fact that because all the mobs in any zone are leveling with me and the dungeons are leveling with me, they feel like current content, if that makes sense. Whereas in previous expansions, I could rule them out and kind of say, right, they're not for me anymore. I can now, this is what I have left to do. And the fact that they're still here and they're still worthwhile, grinding for loot.
It's almost made it kind of annoying running to mythic dungeon entrances as a healer because all the enemies are still able to kill me.
Yeah. I do get frustrated sometimes when I pull mobs and I'm like, oh my god, you actually can hurt me now. But yeah, maybe that's the thing, is that I just feel there is so much that's still relevant, which is such a good thing. Yeah, but I think it's such a shock for me, given Warlords.
It's like Warcraft culture shock. I mean, we just have not seen this level of content available to us at once, like you said. We're just not used to it. We just, like you said, Big Boo, we were just in this pattern of, all right, we do dailies, then we do dungeons, then we outgear dungeons, then we do heroic dungeons, then we raid. That's all there is to do, or PvP. And we just have all of this stuff that we can be doing at once. Yeah.
But okay, Big Voodoo, as someone who's got 3 characters at 110, is this alt friendly? Can you keep this up across 3 characters? Could you keep this up again, 5, 7 characters if you wanted, or is there almost like a cap limit on number of characters you could actually reasonably progress?
His head's back. He's thinking
without giving up your job.
Without giving up my job. Okay, that's a key.
You have to, Big Voodoo. You do have to mention though that you have some weird knack for being able to function at your job with like 5 hours of sleep. So I don't know how you do it.
I got some psychological issues. That's all you need to know. But it's not easy. It would not be easy to maintain that many characters, but it also comes down to, like, what do you want to do with an alt? Like, if you want to, I want to do everything with my main character and with an alt, it's not really an alt. It's like having 2 mains at that point. If you're, hey, I want this alt so I can PvP. Yeah, easy. Level to 110, it doesn't take that long, and then go do PvP. I just want another character to play every now and then, or, I'm kind of maintaining 2 mains right now. Like, I'm not doing the Suramar stuff on my Paladin, but I've been grinding heroics, I've been getting gear, doing world quests, all of that. So, I guess it's alt-friendly if you know what you want to do with your alt. Like, and if it's actually an alt. But if you're just running multiple main characters, then no, it's not friendly, because there's a bunch of stuff to do.
Or, you don't have a job, I guess that could make it pretty multi-man.
Oh, yeah.
Friendly. I mean, there are people, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but there are people in certain situations, you work from home, or you just have a lot more free time. And yeah, you could definitely maintain.
Or you stream mains for a living.
Or you stream for a living, yeah. That's another way you could definitely maintain multiple mains. But I definitely agree. I mean, I could definitely have my DK up if I actually spent more time. I know I could, and I know it's manageable as well. I can see it, especially now that I've reached a point with my monk that I'm not feeling like I have to play it all the time to keep up with everyone else. You do reach that point eventually.
Yeah, once you hit like 9 of 11 in Suramar, and you're, I mean, it comes down to world quests, and then if you're gonna run mythics or something like that. But I don't really need to play my warrior. I just do my emissary quests pretty much on them anymore. Occasionally a mythic or something.
And I think we can kind of jump into our other discussion topic too, which was like the flaws that we personally see in Legion. I mean, because again, I don't think any of us can deny that we think Legion's great, right? But like if I had to say a major flaw for me would be Suramar, and maybe it's because I let other streamers affect what I thought it was going to be, because all these streamers and YouTubers who played the beta said that, this is something unlike Blizzard's ever done before, this is really special. you should definitely check out Suramar. So I was hyped. I was pumped. I was thinking Suramar was going to be this amazing thing, and it turns out to just be another rep grind. And it was one of my least favorite rep grinds I think I've ever done, just because I wanted to do those 2 dungeons. I'm so glad I'm done with it because Suramar kind of let me down. But maybe it was because I hyped it up too much on my own. But super grindy.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is a bit grindy, to be honest.
You know what I think would have fixed Suramar?
Not locking the dungeons behind it?
Yeah, honestly, that's pretty much exactly what I was gonna say. Like, let me get to 11 out of 11 in the Suramar quest without rep grind.
Yeah.
Like, let the rep rewards be rep rewards. Don't lock content behind my rep.
Yeah,
that's what bugs me.
That is truly the problem with Suramar. You nailed it on the head. Like, I like the story. There's a really cool story behind Suramar, but I want to unlock all of it so I can get flying later on. But it's like you get to a point and you just can't do any more quests because you have to hit another rank in their reputation to unlock more quests, and that just seems like a flawed design. You definitely had that right.
There's a reason they got rid of achievement after vanilla, and to an extent in BC, because it's not cool. Whilst it's kind of, I don't like using this word, but whilst it's kind of elitist and cool to have I'm attuned and I can go into these dungeons or these raids and I'm that good, it's just not cool for everybody else, and that's not what WoW is anymore. It's not with all due respect, it's not a mega elitist game like it was back in vanilla.
And let's face it, Big Voodoo and I have both at this point run those dungeons now that we've unlocked them, and I mean they're cool, but are they like worth that rep grind? Are they that awesome?
The gear from them is
the gear.
If you're talking min-maxing, like you get set bonuses from the gear in those 2 dungeons.
Yeah, the gear definitely. But the dungeons themselves, I mean, they're good dungeons, but there wasn't anything too spectacular. The Arcway was kind of cool because you're going to a party and everything, or not the Arcway.
You mean Court of Stars?
Court of Stars, yeah. But
yeah,
you say that, Tarley, and you'll get your first legendary in one of those.
Probably, and then I'll stop complaining about Suramar altogether.
Yeah,
I get a legendary from there, but
But to be fair too, like Suramar has some really cool stuff in it, like the Withered training.
Yeah.
That's an awesome quest line. That's like one of my favorite dailies to do, just because it's neat. It's not something we've really ever done before. There's the thing in Thunder, the treasure trove in Isle of Thunder, the secondary, just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't play much in this, so.
But it's good because
that was
something
awesome. I've never done.
People wanted it back, so it's cool that it's there. It just seems kind of back-asswards, because. Everything else in Legion is pointing to not doing repetitive stuff. You're doing new stuff every day, and then you do Suramar, and it's kind of a repetitive grind. So it's like, I've rambled on about Suramar enough. My other complaint would be there's too many people in my MMO. You'll be out doing world, and that's hardly a complaint. I mean, it's fantastic to see the world so populated, but you'll be out doing a world quest, and everybody keeps taking your stuff. And too many people in my MMO, Blizzard.
I'm really glad for that because I can just sit back and heal.
Just re-release Warlords of Draenor. I want it back.
I want garrisons back. I think touching on that, Tarley, I think one of the things I wish that the World Quest system had was a way of bringing players together for those particular difficult challenges or world bosses, or even just generally, if people are saying, I want a group because I want to do my 4 quests in this zone. Maybe there's a way to get those quests, those people together. It's not a big thing at all, but I just feel like sometimes where you're getting those big world bosses and there's 5 of you sitting there, you think, God, if only there was a way to get an LFG going that was built into the system a little bit easier. But
you can.
That's a really cool thing. Can you?
Yeah, I joined a group for Nithog earlier today. The world boss.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it's set up in the through the thingy.
There's pretty much always people on there looking for something. It's nice because it's cross realm. So
yeah, and that's what we've used for our mythic
I forgot about that
the whole time too. Us.
That shows just how little time I used, how less I used it in Warlords.
I hardly. The feature was introduced in Warlords. Hardly ever used it then, and I'm using it almost daily, or every time I'm playing the game anyway. I'm usually looking for a group with that. Pretty cool.
clearly there are flaws in my playstyle. Big Voodoo, anything like flaws from you about Legion?
I'm a little bit mad at... Okay, no, I'm a little bit more than a little bit mad at Blizzard for nerfing my class. I understand...
Which class?
Warrior. Arms
Right.
Warrior had the highest single target DPS in the game. Like, without flaw. And it definitely does not anymore. Yeah. Not
Blizzard
happy
hates
about
warriors, that's why.
Apparently. Suramar, we kind of already went over it. You know, don't lock my content behind rep, because that annoys me. I've never been the guy to go grind rep out. I'm not going to be getting the insane achievement ever.
Yeah.
But other than that, the game's solid. I may not be happy about the hotfix, but I understand why it happened. Because, you know, 100k theoretical DPS over the next highest class makes sense that it needs a nerf. But I don't know. I'm content with it for once. I've leveled 3 characters, and I'm sitting here now thinking, well, I could either level a 4th, or I could start doing even more content on my paladin, or start... I was working on Suramar rep with my warlock earlier today, so I can get world quests with my warlock as well. Like, I've got plenty to do, and it doesn't feel repetitive even on my 3rd character at this point, so I'm good. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I'm overall...
Talking about leveling.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tarley, go
I
on.
was just saying, like, I'm agreeing with you. I'm overall pretty satisfied, especially now, like, if you're like me and you play all the Blizzard games usually, or at least a few instead of just one. Like, I'm at a place where I can just let WoW kind of fade back, and then I can come back to it and there's stuff to do, instead of, like, Warlords, where you're just like, I have no reason to log back into WoW except to level my 10th alt, which was where I was there before Legion came in. You know, so, yeah, I'm definitely happy with this expansion.
It's perfect. I think the only thing I can actually legitimately think of is when they announced how Order Halls were going to work, they said about the thing with garrisons was that your followers were going on cooler missions than you. And I just wish there was a feature like where you could actually go on a couple of missions with the followers. Like if you like dragged yourself in as a character slot, and they had to go out hunt down like the demon, and then you had to go and fly to that particular zone and meet, because you see them on the app.
Yeah.
You can like I don't know, you can see where they are. So why can't we have a feature where we actually go out and we have to kill the boss? I mean, it can still have a cooldown of 7 hours, 10 hours, whatever. But it'd be cool to say, you know, considering that was so much of that in the artifact quests.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be cool to bring it to the Order.
Or when you send anyone out to do any mission, you can literally run out. You can run into them out in the world, and they're doing the mission that you sent them on.
Yeah,
like that.
You can.
I think that'd be a lot of work. I don't know how that would actually work with phasing and stuff. If you have everyone's everyone's followers out doing stuff in the world, like how that would work, because it's an MMO. But the idea behind that would be really cool. It'd be super engaging with the follower system, making it feel like it's actually happening.
I agree.
There is just a bit of garrisons. Yeah.
Also, I mean, and let's go back to like the idea that Zool presented like over a year ago with the follower romance system. Like, why is that not in the game yet? You just take multiple followers and you can have them love each other, or you can like marry your followers, or you can marry other players. I want that. Come on, what is it? In-game marriages, because Short Fuse and Lily, man. Short Fuse and Lily, they do the best.
I think Mass Effect is probably a great example of why it should be in the game, because
yeah,
everyone went lesbian for that. Hey, you've got to be diverse and inclusive, people. Oh dear.
Well, I'd say it's about time we wrap up our show. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. You can always contact the show, or you can always watch the show on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and Twitch. You can always check us on Twitter at Geeks of Azeroth. You can find me personally at Tarley_pause Britzza. Where can we find you?
You can find me at Britzza_EG.
Voodoo.
At B1GV00D00.
And of course, you can find Zool at @ZulGeek. And of course, you can contact the show with your messages, questions, concerns, your interest in Britz's love romances in
Please don't ask about that.
Please send all of that to geeksofazerotheg@gmail.com. And remember to check out www.epicgeeks.co.uk and check out the Epic Geeks podcast. Otherwise, we'll see you same time, same place next week. Everyone have a great week in the Broken Isles.
This podcast is part of the Epic Geeks Network. To find out more about our other gaming podcasts, head to epicgeeks.co.uk.